Joyful and free time. I'm Ann DeVere, and I'm here with my fabulous partner.
Sherry Sotelo.
Yeah, she's the prop queen, the brainiac, the science behind the mindset, and all of these things rolled together. And so we're going to have a really good time today. By the way, this is week 4 and a final topic of happy, well, hopeful, happy, joyful, and free. So we're doing a 30-day cycle. So this is season 1. I hope you guys liked it. We got lots set up for you for next month. But let's get to today's topic. Okay. Today's, we started off with leveling up your legacy. What does that mean? And so we're going to be talking about a few different things. Going global. We're not traveling that much anymore. At least I'm not. And there's some things about our life and our lifestyle, things that we want to pass on, to our friends and family. And, so there's some really, really good stuff here. So let's dive into it. It's a heavy, a lot of really good information, but we always have fun, don't we?
We do. And
Yes.
like you said, it is heavy. The crown weighs heavily sometimes, folks. If you didn't know this, you'll know it now. I am Filipina, and we have held 11 Miss Universe. So let me go global with this moment in time and say, what does your global traveler mean to you, for you? And are we going to go big or are we going to go virtual, folks? We can do both. The money's in the bag.
Surprise. By the way, I don't know all this stuff that she's pulling out of where. I never know what she's going to do. And if you haven't figured it out, she's also the prop queen. Okay.
Ye- Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, this feels so funny to wear a crown on my head and talk to a camera and deliver virtually. But that's how we're giving out these global messages, folks. I am physically engaging with you, though I physically cannot be there next to you in each and every moment. But man, it feels good. This is what it's about. We have gone through all the little steps along the way these last 3.5 weeks to say, hey, am I ready? Am I creating my mindset? Am I giving out my message that I want to give? Am I giving it with confidence? Am I recognizing my power? Am I empowering myself? And can I go and deliver? So now we're ready for our delivery. And you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, we can. Yes, we definitely can. And so we're kind of, again, leveling up our legacy. What does that mean? Well, it means something different to each one of us. I know that what was important to me in my 20s and then what was important to me in my 30s and 40s and 50s, each decade had its own impact. And my wish for my legacy has been evolving. And so wherever you are, it's great for what you have right now because we never know how long we're going to be here. We never know when things are going to shift. The things that are happening today may totally shift tomorrow, so our understanding is going to change. And so that's why we decided to kind of like look at the big global view of this, if you will, right? Global travel has changed a lot. I know for me, I was traveling a lot, a lot, a lot. I'm talking about 4 to 6 months a year, some of the years. And then I'd go out for a couple of months at a time, training in different countries. And for the last few years, I haven't left the States at all. I've been in Los Angeles, I've been in Las Vegas, and Sherry's coming to you from Las Vegas, but we didn't know each other then, but we're still meeting and we're still going global wherever you're watching from. So we can go virtual. I know that um, for me, some of the the seven wonders of the world looked a lot different in person than I saw in the pictures or in videos. But that's just that perception. So Sherry, I want to kind of start looking at what does it really mean or what can it mean for each one of us from our different perspectives? How can we look at um, go big or go virtual. What does going big mean?
Going big means finally tapping into that self confidence, having those goals that you set out for yourself, going, activating the discipline, enacting the motivation, and achieving those goals. So when you go global, it's your global perspective, it's your global message, and it's your global statement that you have finally come into your own with full force, all of your full force, and you're ready to deliver. Again, this is what we talked about earlier this week with the dopamine stacking and understanding how we can get our feel goods. This is that end goal we were talking about. So, global may be different for everybody. Maybe our global perspective still stays within our own city limits. Sometimes it's all the way around the world. But ultimately, it comes down to our brain space, our physical space, our motivation space, and our discipline that we are going to put forward to get all of these goals in line and ready to go.
So I really like what you said in that is that whatever our territory of comfort or our boundaries, our life pleasures and excitement or whatever we have, whatever we like, it's our world, right? It's our little globe, or it's the whole globe, the whole earth. So yeah, right. And so whatever it is for us, it's good. So what is going big, and from what you were sharing, Sherry, is that whatever I think is going big for me, that's it. It's going big for
That
me.
is it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the desire to do certain things, to launch a new business or stay home with the children or the grandchildren or whatever it is you're going to do. It's our world, and we can decide what we want to do and how we want to do it. And that's very, very empowering. So, what does your globe look like? What does your world look like? What do your relationships look like? What does your
Mhm.
business look like? And so
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
lot of good talking. Yeah. So it's really, really exciting. And so I want to move on to the next topic because this takes us right to um, I know over the years, gosh, sometimes it's like, how can you fit all that in one lifetime? How can one person experience all those things? You know, and it's possible. It's possible. We have access to a lot, and sometimes life forces us to get in different situations, regardless of how we get there. Each one is impacts us and it is part of who we are. And so this is where Sharon and I were talking about our time capsule. And so the I every time I hear time capsule, I have this thing of the old movies where they used to put a time capsule and bury it in a backyard or in a center of the city somewhere. So Sharon, let's get your perspective and what is a time capsule and what goes in a time capsule? What is our individual time capsule look like? What does it consist of and how do we decide?
Well, that's the beauty of the being our time capsule. It's whatever we want. It's the base knowledge, it's our life experience, it's our expectations that are realistic and attainable. It's the stories that we want to share, it's the legacy that we want to live. That's the whole method of today's conversation is understanding what our legacy is. And I grew up in San Francisco, for those of you that don't know. And San Francisco's suburbs were built on the base of World War II. There's time capsules actually in every corner throughout Daly City and a couple of spots within San Francisco. We've had the pleasure when I was in high school decades ago to open up some of those things, and people have left stories, family photos, small little notes of encouragement. Those were the best ones to find. I remember that when I was a teen. And we can make anything in our time capsule. But when it comes to, say, it's your business and you want to leave a legacy that is your teaching, what are you going to put in there? It's what you choose to put in there. What do you feel like you maybe have missed somewhere along the lines that you want to ensure the next generations and generations to come are going to be able to spread and share and expand on. You know, what mark do you want to leave in your lifetime that somebody can go back and say, I remember who did that? Or even if it's not, I remember that person's name, I remember what I learned. Because for me, it's what I leave behind that allows someone to learn something for themselves. It's okay. You don't have to remember my name. Remember what you felt in that moment. And so your time capsule is going to be very much kind of like our fashion. How we choose it is how we choose it. And it's going to go on because it's what we're known for.
That was beautiful. He said, "Actually, I'm kind of curious now. Let's all go to San Francisco and start digging up time capsule."
Please don't dig up the little city.
Okay, cancel, cancel. We're not doing that. Okay, yeah, yeah. So, as you were sharing that, I'm like, we are living time capsules. We are walking, talking time capsules. And what do we focus on? What do we want to share? What do we want to put in this living time capsule? And I'll share a quick story with me. Um, my late husband, when we were dating, like I wasn't sure how I felt about him, but I remember one day we had gone on a bike ride. This was in New York. We were sitting right by the water on Roosevelt Island on a bench. And he turned around and said, "How do you want to be remembered?" Now, I had never really thought about it. And in those days, I was jet setting. I was a corporate executive. I'm jet setting all over the globe. So, about high powered woman. And the words that came out of my mouth was, as a loving person. I was like, who said that? That's not what I was thinking about at that time. I'm thinking I'm going to be a successful corporate executive, and I was. Um, but the thing that actually had the biggest impact on me is that he brought out a part of me that I hadn't really even thought about. I didn't even know that being remembered as a loving person was important to me, was that important to me, was the most important thing, apparently, which I hadn't really thought about. It was like knee jerk reaction. And, if I'm being totally truthful here, that's what made me pay closer attention to him and keep dating him. And eventually we got married and we have a beautiful 25-year-old daughter, and we lost him a couple of years ago. But the impact of it, that one question, how it made me feel, how it made me look at myself, and really ask those questions. So I'm going to bring it right back to you. you know what do we say, what do we ask, how can we bring ourselves to ask those tough questions? How do you want to be remembered? It's a simple question, but darn, how do we get to the answer? And how can we maybe impact our loved ones the same way? you know like our children, our friends, because it's a simple question, but look at what it did for me. you
Hmm.
know Turned me upside down and right side up, at the same time. So back over to you, Sherry. How do we figure out who we are as a living, loving time capsule?
How do we leave, or how do we ask that question?
How
I'm
do
actually
well?
I'm going to roll it back just a little bit. And you could totally use this with your 25-year-old daughter. This is great. Be like, look, baby girl, you are my walking, talking legacy. You got
Woo!
bits and pieces of me. You got my stories. You got my energy. You've got my charisma. You are everything that I hope helped set you up to be. Now, please don't change any of that when you're an adult. I really like what I did with you. So that's how we leave our legacy. I don't know how she's
Yeah.
going to feel about it. I know when my father did that to me, and I'm like, oh, good stuff. That's how, yeah, we are remembered is through our children. And for those of us that don't have children, like me, I don't have children, but I've written books, I've written programs, and you
We're frozen. We we seem to be frozen for a minute there. Anyways, so I actually thought about. There you go. Yeah, I'm full on. Let's get you full on to.
Wait, hold on. Tag, you're it. Ready?
Eeny, meeny, miny. Okay,
And
so
this is how we leave our legacy, folks. When we spit out the stories that we need to spit out, when we get them out, people will remember them. That's our legacy.
it's not how you say it; it's how people feel when you say it. So, how do you guys feel right? Well, okay. So you know what? I do want to say something about this right now. Making a conscious decision. One of the things that I had decided, like, last year, the year before, during COVID, is that I am not going to be around people who are always negative, who are always complaining. I want to live my life enjoying and being grateful and being happy. So Sherry, when she popped up and we every time we talk, we were laughing. I'm like, I want to spend more time with her. So we created opportunities to do that. So, what is it that you love to do? And who are the people that make you feel that way? How can you spend more time with them? I don't know. What do you think about that? Putting that in a time capsule. Put that question in there.
We are our time capsule. Like you said earlier, we are it. We come through every day just exactly who we are, and we leave our mark. We leave our impression. We leave our laughter with the different people. So yeah, I think we're totally in a whole nother world, zone, time zone, all these things anyways. So our time capsule, when it does finally make it back to where we were supposed to be, I'm sure it's going to sound all great.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it will. And I will get back to you about what my daughter says when I tell her, yeah, you're just walking.
You're my walking, talking legacy, baby. I
Yeah,
promise you.
she's gonna say, can I tweak it some? Please. you know so anyways, okay, let's move on here. So we have decided that we want to go big, and or we want to go virtual, whichever way we want to go. We get to decide where our world is, and we get to decide what we put in it, in our time capsule. So the last part that we're actually want to share with you today is becoming a global difference maker. Now, that may sound really, really big, but it actually is not. And here's why. We are all influencers, right? We hear the word influencer all the time. We influence our children, we influence our friends, we influence, our colleagues, we influence people we work with. So we're all influencers, but how do we become a global difference maker? So we're making a change. Well, this is where we're going to scale it down. So the easy way, the way I see it, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this, Sherry. So, but you can tell we haven't been rehearsing this, right? So we never do, and that's the fun of it, right? It's always fresh. So, so becoming a global difference maker, it just means impacting a different part of the world, or impacting many parts of the world. And who is it that we're impacting? It's people. So anytime, right now, we're going global right now. And so people from across the globe will be watching this video, whether it's a few of you watching it today, or thousands next month, or millions 10 years from now. Who knows? So everything that we put out there does make an impact. It's that ripple effect. So you don't have to create something so big, like it doesn't have to be a global blanket, like some of the big companies do. But we are all global difference makers, because everything that comes out, everything that we're sharing, it does impact our world, and of course people across the globe. So you share something on Facebook, you share something on different social media, people across the globe are watching. So we can actually get people to hate each other. We can get people to love each other. We can teach people different things. We can impact people in many, many ways. And that's who makes the difference. The global difference is you and I, you know, without singing kumbaya here. It's like holding hands and deciding what we're gonna do. I know that's what it sounds like, but that's I we need to press a button to play some music right now. So, anyways, I'm going to scoot over to you there, Sherry. How do we make a global impact? How do we make a global difference?
First and foremost, believe in what
Mhm.
you're saying. When you speak certain words, you're going to live certain ways. And that's how we spread the message to everyone around the world. We're the role models, we are the examples, we are going to be that person that, yes, we make a global difference when we actually go out and bring it into action. And that's really where Anne comes into play. And this is the part I love about her and her programs most, that she's had for over a decade. It's that you can do it method. I'm really about being the you can, because I'm in that mindset, in that psychological space, and in that getting ready, and that doing it is in the action component. And that's where Anne's really going to wow you starting next week with all of the action steps that are coming next. And the understanding, being a global difference maker is participating. It's participating with confidence. It's participating in life. Again, be a part of life and the life that's around you. So it's quite simple, folks. You know, if you have a business, I'll take it from that business perspective. We put our sites on the www World Wide Web. Yeah, I know that just really aged us, because how many people actually remember that part, that that's what it means? You know, that's our virtual, that's us reaching out to the globe by choice. We are empowering ourselves, we're empowering our company, we're empowering our, whether personal development or even empowering our own reach to family around the world through world services. And so, yeah, that's how we make a difference. We take those action steps to be engaged every day.
Well said. There we go. And so each one of us shares what we know. Each one of us shares what we do and how we do it, and just keep helping, keep supporting, sharing, and learning. So, and it does make a global. Yeah, I just feel nice, warm, and fuzzy right now. Okay, okay. So, we're going to do a wrap up tomorrow of this week, but before we tell you more about next week, let's actually talk about today a little bit more, right? So our legacy, level up your legacy. It just means, to me, it just means, just think one step bigger, you know, that look a little bit, maybe into more details, maybe look at something from a different perspective, and just like be open to new possibilities. That's what it means to me, leveling up, your legacy. So, let's Sherry, how are you leveling up your legacy right now? One thing.
Ooh, I've got a really big thing coming up here in just 2 weeks. So I'll actually have to miss the wrap up day in 2 weeks, because I am leveling up my legacy by going out to London to accept an award as an international advocate and veterans representative, because I've pushed very, very hard to help health and wellness movements all around the world, very specifically in the Philippines, my home country. So I'm making it a point to share knowledge, share education, teach, um, inspire, encourage, and empower even the people that believe they don't have any say in anything. Sometimes I have to be the voice for them. And that's where that advocacy comes in. And that's what really is my legacy. It's what I've set out for a couple of decades now. So, yes. And you could tell I don't talk about myself very often in that manner. So I come off even a little bit shy, but I know. Besides props, yes, I do have that shy part about boasting on anything
But
that I'm doing.
that's just beautiful. Well, first, I think that sharing about what you're doing, the impact we're making in our community, is really important. So yeah, you're coming across a bit shy, but that's huge. Congratulations on the award. I mean, you she's going to London to receive an award. Come on, that's huge. Okay, that's huge. So there
Thank
you
you.
go. Yeah, and I can't wait to see the pictures, and I can't wait to see the videos. And you're going to be doing interviews there somehow, somewhere.
Hmm.
All kinds of stuff is going to be happening, and we're going to be sharing it with you here, folks. Actually, she will be the reporter. I'm just assigning it to her.
Oh, I've been
As we speak,
voluntold.
to be the report of difference makers who are gathering in London.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's the Women of the Heart Awards, and they have the Gentlemen of the Heart Awards too. And they to combined have 200 different awards. So I happen to have been nominated for one. It was such a great honor. But that's, hey, if you want to go try and make a difference, nominating someone, it also makes global differences.
yeah, it does. It,
Recognition.
it does, and actually, you're going to get very soon. You're going to have opportunities to nominate some of the people who have made a difference in your life, so we can interview them. So you'll know all the different topics that we're going to be covering, and so you can, if somebody's made an impact on your life, whether it comes, via your relationships or your health or your spirituality or your work, your money, whatever it is, there's a part of your life people, have impacted. Maybe more than one person has impacted. So you get to nominate them. And I think we have a lot of unsung heroes that we should put a spotlight on. I know a lot of people have helped me throughout my life in, many decades. I've been in recovery for 33 years. Believe me, I needed a lot of help. Okay. So you're going to have an opportunity, folks. And so stay tuned for all the fabulous things that Sherry's going to be sharing with us now and after, her trip to London. So there you go. So let's wrap it up for today, Sherry. Another fabulous day. Great content, of course, if
Yes.
I say so myself. Yeah. So let's wrap it up for today. And you take us out today. Go for it.
All right, friends and family, and wonderful future global difference makers. Remember, you have the confidence, you have all the tools that you need, you are in control. You get to leverage all of these fabulous parts of yourself to go out, put it in that time capsule, leave that legacy behind, and go out and make a change around the world. Easy
And with
peasy
that,
steps.
yeah, that have a good one, folks. We'll see